come, Ray. The one constant through all the years, Ray, has been baseball.
Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win. Now the 2-1.
Line drive to the base hit. Justice has scored the tying run. Green to the plate. And he is safe. Safe at the plate. The Braves go to the World Series.
Have reserved seats somewhere along one of the baselines that sat when they were children and cheered their heroes.
Gibson swings and a fly ball to deep right field. This is going to be a home run. Unbelievable!
A 3-run home run for Bucky Dent. The Yankees now lead by a score of 3-2.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mazeroski has hit a 1-0 pitch over the left field fence at Ford Field to win the 1960 World Series.
They'll arrive at your door as innocent as children, longing for the past.
The Pope arrived at Yankee Stadium. As one enthusiastic announcer put it, he is standing on second base.
Reggie Jackson. Long drive right field. It is led by big World Series. The Blue Jays are World Series champions as Joe Carter hits a 3-run home run.
Back and throw. There's a left back. It's going to be, I believe, the Giants from the pennant. The Giants from the pennant. The Giants from the pennant.
The 0-1 pitch. A liner off Nagy's glove into center field. The Florida Marlins have won the World Series.
The memories will be so thick that I can brush them with my faces.
The 1-0 delivery to Fisk. He swings long drive left field. If it stays fair, it's gone. Home run. The Red Sox win. And the series is...
Lolich fires. Ball is hit high in the air. This should be the series. Freehand waving everybody away in foul territory. Detroit wins.
Here's the pitch to Willie. There's a liner straight to Richardson. The ball game is over and the World Series is over. Willie McCovey hit it like a bullet. A line drive right.
Baseball to mark the time.
The Oakland A's take. I'll tell you what, we're having an earth.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Candlestick Park for Game 3 of the 1989 World Series.
It's been erased like a blackboard, rebuilt and erased again.
Frank Robinson, the right-hand batter.
Long drive to left field. Clean up. Yes, he gets out.
Base hit loaded, 1 out. Pena in a jam. The Twins are going to win the World Series. The Twins have won it.
Ozzie with 1 out. Smith corks one into right down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy. It's a home run. And the
Willie Mays just brought this crowd to its feet with a catch, which must have been an optical illusion to a lot of people.
This field, this game, is a part of our past, Ray. It reminds us of all that once was good, and it could be again.
Broadcasted live.
Who wants to have some fun?
There are balls coming from all over the place. Left field, center field, right field. See, this is the kind of thing, quite honestly, right now, that makes you want to see the Chicago Cubs team lose.
Now, you just saying you want to have fun, or do you really want to have fun?
It'll be fun.
Will the next person that sees anybody throw anything onto this field, point them out, or get them out of here? You don't live in Cleveland. You live in Cincinnati.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
That is the farthest thing in the universe from the truth.
Hello, everyone, live. It's the Dan Scott Show. And right there is your host, Dan Scott.
All right. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this Monday edition of the program. I am your host, Dan Scott. We thank you very much for tuning us in, joining us on the show today, and hope that by the time things get rolling and everything is good to go, you will have learned something that you did not know. I will definitely have learned something that I did not know. And you know what we try to do here. If you had a good thing going already on a Monday morning, we'll try not to mess it up. If you have gotten off to a slow start, we'll see if we can maybe provide you with a little bit of a lift. How are you today? How was your weekend? Mine was busy. There was not a lot of sleep, but if you judge your weekend by wins and losses, it was a very, very good weekend. If you judge it by other things other than wins and losses, by relationships and things along those lines, it was an exceptional weekend. Still didn't get a lot of sleep, but, you know, it all balances out in the end. Did baseball on Friday, did basketball in Birmingham on Saturday, and did baseball again yesterday, and they were all very, very fruitful performances by the teams involved. The baseball Paladins opened 2018 with a 3-game series sweep of Marist, and basketball, they ran their winning streak to 3 in a row by going down to Birmingham and knocking off Samford in one of the better offensive performances we've seen from the team this season, 94-79, to hold on to a tie for third place in the Southern Conference. So we got a lot to talk about today, centering around those two programs. You're going to hear from Brett Harker. You're going to hear from Bob Ritchie, and we'll just get you up to date on everything as it stands to the minute. And, you know, there are some other things going on in the sports world as well, and we'll try to touch on some of that as we go through the course of the program. But it was a fun weekend. And on Friday and Sunday, could not have really asked for better weather for the opening weekend of baseball. It was a little rainy and cold on Saturday, but I was in Birmingham, and I was indoors, so it didn't really affect me all that much. But they made it through, got all 3 games in, and now set up a stretch of 5 games in a row where they play Clemson, 3 at North Carolina State, and then go to South Carolina. All 5 on the road, all 5 against high majors, 4 of those against ACC opponents. It's going to be an interesting stretch for Brett Harker's team coming off of the high of the sweep of Marist. So we're going to talk about that as we go through the course of the show. And as I said, let you hear from Brett Harker, and also the drama of the 7-6 win in 10 innings last night. You'll hear the game-winning home run from Jason Costa. As far as the basketball team goes, I mentioned it was a heck of a performance offensively. They were hitting on all cylinders pretty much the entire game. Samford, and Bob Ritchie talked about this in the postgame radio show, which is what you're going to hear a little bit later on. Yeah, they are missing Wyatt Walker and Christian Cunningham. There's no question that those are 2 big cogs in their machine, and with them expected to be healthy, that's why they were picked second in the league heading into this season. Now, they have missed virtually the entire year, or in effect the entire year. I think Walker's played in 2 games, and that's it. Both of those guys are getting medical red shirts. And their season has gone into the tank without question. Having said that, they are still a very, very talented offensive team. But scoring is not the issue for them. Their issue is rebounding and playing defense, and they do very little of either. If you look at the numbers statistically, you'll see that they are at the bottom of the league in both of those categories. They give up 81 points a game overall and 84 in Southern Conference play. That was going into the game on Saturday afternoon, and Furman dropped 94 on them in front of that. So it was a nice performance against a team that can score, and they did shoot 50% from the field for the game, which I know kind of raised Bob's eyebrow a little bit. But in the big picture, Paladins were never really threatened. They never trailed in the game. They ran the lead into double digits in the first half. It was cut down to 9, but then they scored 6 straight to push it back to 15. Had it at 18 at the break when Jordan Lyons hit the 3 with 7.5 seconds to go before the half. Second half, they got it down to 9 again, but again, Furman had an answer and ended up winning it by the final margin of 15 at 94-79. So 3 straight wins in the league. And when we get to a little more about the game and hear from Bob Ritchie, we're also going to hyper-focus in on the league standings right now because the final week of the regular season is coming up. And the top 6 and bottom 4 are pretty clear right now. But is Furman going to be the 3 seed or the 4 seed? Who's going to be the 5 seed and the 6 seed? And that will determine who 3 and 4 play. So there are a lot of things still to be determined in these final 3 games of the regular season, and we will lock in and talk about that coming up in just a bit. Before we do any of that, though, we've got to take our first break, and we always remind you right at the top about our friends at the Atlanta Bread Company. They're located in Cherrydale Plaza, right down the road from campus here in Greenville. Fantastic food, even better people, and you need to stop in there and take advantage of both of those things. They have breakfast, lunch, dinner, great sandwich menu. They have soup, they have chili, hot and cold beverages. And again, don't get me started on the baked goods because I can't have them, but they are phenomenal. You'll love them. I do, and they have made a significant commitment to this program. We're so grateful for that. So please, it's very important you stop by and you thank them for doing so and enjoy some of the great food and customer service you get at the Atlanta Bread Company. Atlanta Bread, Cherrydale Plaza, right down the road from campus here in Greenville. All right, to break we go. We'll come back, and, of course, I'm going to start with baseball, right? That's coming up on the other side. Dan Scott Show on a Monday, and we'll be back in just a moment. The Atlanta Bread Company wants to make your dining experience as convenient as possible, especially if you're ordering takeout. Go online to atlantabreadcompany.com, place your order there, and pay for it too. Then, when you get to the restaurant at Cherrydale Point, you breeze right by the cash registers and go straight to the pickup counter where your food will be waiting. And speaking of food, try the new Shrimp Po' Boy, a delicious and surprisingly healthy addition to the already great menu. That's the Atlanta Bread Company, Cherrydale Point in Greenville.
Holding, number 79, defense, first down. I'm also holding a party tonight.
Great call by the official. Looks like we've got another flag on the field.
Holding, a Pepsi. Necessary refreshment.
Hey, Ted, bring some of that Pepsi to my party.
Pepsi and the NFL. Welcome to the Fun Doesn't End Zone.
When the Furman baseball team goes on the road, it travels safely, comfortably, and with the latest technology with Jeans Tours and Charters. Jeans has been a Furman favorite for decades and has serviced Furman baseball for over 20 years. Take it from head coach Brett Harker. Book your next road trip with Jeans. Jeans Tours and Charters, online at jeansbussvc.com or call 864-242-1673. Jeans Tours and Charters, servicing the upstate since 1980.
If you've been sidelined by an injury, the St. Francis Sports Medicine team is here 24/7 to get you back on the field. Our highly trained network of physicians, athletic trainers, and physical therapists treat all types of sports-related injuries, even those that don't occur from playing a sport. Call the St. Francis Hurt Line at 675-HU-RT for priority appointments or at-home advice. Again, that's 675-HU-RT.
The madness begins here. Make sure you're at the U.S. Cellular Center in Asheville, North Carolina, March 1st through 5th for the 2018 SoCon Basketball Championship presented by General Shale. Watch your favorite SoCon teams compete for a championship and a berth in the NCAA tournament and take part in exciting events like the Downtown Dribble and the Ingles Jam Fest. Book your travel and tickets by logging on to SoConHoops.com or by contacting the U.S. Cellular Center box office. The madness begins in Asheville. Get your tickets today.
All right, welcome back to the show. I am Dan Scott, and we are live and off and running here on a Monday. Good to have you with us. I want to spend just a quick moment telling you about the Walk a Mile Project. It's a 501c3 nonprofit humanitarian aid organization whose goal is to organize, build, encourage, and invest in ways to meet the physical needs of impoverished communities around the world. What do? Well, they encourage and equip groups on how to go, how to prepare for a trip, how to form a trip, how to raise funds, and how to do when they get there. Build houses, feed a village, conduct medical clinics. You get the idea. You can check them out online at thewamproject.org. You see it right there on the screen, the WAM Project. That's the Walk a Mile Project. Heath Burdett and his folks there do phenomenal work, and there are ways that you can support them as well. So please give them a look at that website. All right, Furman baseball sweeps Marist to open the 2018 season, 13-4 in the season opener on Friday night. Hit 3 home runs in that game, including a big 3-run shot from Jabari Richards, who drove in 6 runs on that Friday night. 5-4 on Saturday, dodging the rain, a game that was originally scheduled for 1 o'clock, ended up throwing the first pitch at 4, but they got the victory. And Brett raving about his bullpen after Jake Crawford threw 4 innings and 92 pitches. Did strike out a career-high 8, but the pitch count, obviously, especially this early in the season, going to bring him out. And then the fact that Nick Verbeck came on and pitched the way that he did, and then Jonathan Mao. We're talking about a story. Jonathan Mao, a redshirt sophomore, junior academically, but a redshirt sophomore, has missed what should have been his first 2 seasons of play here at Furman. He had Tommy John surgery his freshman year, spent all last year rehabbing, so 2 years were gone. And so he comes out of the bullpen and shuts down Marist to nail down the victory, get the save in a 1-run ball game. Comes in, I think, with runners at first and second, and 1 out on that Saturday game, and got the job done, closed it out in the 9th. Just a tremendous story for him. Brett said it was one of the coolest moments that he's ever been associated with because of everything the kid has been through, how hard he's worked. And he said to see him hugging his dad and celebrating after the game, it was just a really cool moment. So that was a 1-run win. They got a 7-6 1-run victory last night, or yesterday afternoon at Latham Stadium. Game that they were kind of battling uphill for most of the day. Fell behind early, took a 2-run lead, allowed Marist to come back and tie it. Marist then, or the Paladins then took a 2-run lead again. Marist tied it again at 6. And we went to the bottom of the 10th inning with 1 out. Jason Costa stepped to the plate, took the first 2 pitches for balls from left-hander Tony Romanelli, who, by the way, pitched outstanding in relief yesterday in 4+ innings. But on the 2-0 pitch, Costa decided that it was time to go home. Costa waiting, Romanelli pitching. In the air, right center field. He got a bunch of it. Did he get it all? He did. Home run, Jason Costa the other way. And the Paladins win it in dramatic fashion here in the bottom of the 10th inning. 7-6, and sweep this season opening series over Marist. They were waiting on him at the plate. They are beating him to a mortal pulp. And the Paladins get a big win, and for the second game in this 3-game series, win a 1-run game. Holy Toledo. Now, those are fun when you get the rare opportunity to call a home run that wins the game in the bottom of the 9th inning or bottom of the 10th in that case. It's really fun for a broadcaster, and obviously was fun for the team as well because, as you might imagine, they celebrated that thing loud and long for a long time. And I know it's early. I know it's the first weekend of the season, and you're saying to yourself, Dan, don't make too big of a deal out of it. But you start to look for trends to develop, and quite honestly, 1-run games was a major issue for this team a year ago, at least until the final stretch of games where they won 20 of their final 26 heading into the postseason. they struggled mightily in one-run games. The overall record last year ended up being 6-9. It wasn't anywhere near that good until that final stretch of the season. And if you're going to be a good team, if you're going to be an elite team, you have got to win more of those one-run games than you lose. And it requires a lot of things. It requires, obviously, very good pitching in critical moments, which they got from Tyler Kimbrell yesterday, and it requires timely hitting. Doesn't get much more timely than a walk-off home run off the bat of Jason Costa. So it was a big weekend all around. Something to watch as the season moves forward. Now, these next 5 games playing against much stiffer competition, NCAA tournament and national power type competition will be a big test for this team. But having said that, I think they're up for it, and we're going to find out very, very soon. After it was all said and done, after the weekend, Brett Harker was kind enough to do what he does after every game, and that's join us for a little video update. Posted it on YouTube yesterday, but if you've missed it, here it is now. Here's the Paladin head coach. All right, here with Brett Harker after the dramatic 7-6 win in 10 innings on the Costa game-winning home run. Nothing like a little drama at the old ball orchard, huh?
That was a fun game. It's not exactly how you draw it up there in the top of the 10th, but a lot of times it doesn't go your way right there, but that's what's so fun about sports. You just don't know what's going to happen, and then Jason comes up, and it's a really tough place to hit the ball out, especially for a right-hander. That shows the kind of power he has. That was a lot of fun for our guys, and obviously a huge weekend for our program.
Pair of one-run wins, and we talked about that in the pregame. You were 6-9 in one-run games a year ago, so 2-0 out of the chute here. What does that mean for this team?
I think it just gives us a lot of confidence from here on out. Obviously, those were the games that we struggled with last year, and we have guys stepping up out of the bullpen and honestly making pitches in tough spots that we didn't make last year, making people hit the ball and making big plays. Right there with Bertrand, a couple innings prior, we go bases loaded, and he gets a double play right out of the chute. I mean, that gets overlooked because of the 10th, but that was some other large outs with our bullpen that we just have struggled with in the past.
Yeah. At the top of the 10th inning, it looked like they had something going, and then everybody will talk about the Costa homer, but the play that Elmy made with Kimbrell falling down on the bunt attempt on the right side and Brandon sweeping in, being able to get the throw in, that was a heck of a play.
So we got lucky on that. The runner had thought that the pitcher was going to field the ball, so he didn't break immediately. And then when he saw he fell, he broke, and that gave us enough time. And then nothing happens if Taplett doesn't somehow backhand pick the ball, swing it around, and make the tag right there. That's not easy to do with a catcher's mitt on and not a first baseman's mitt. So that was definitely the biggest play of the game.
Tyler Kimbrell with quite a weekend for you to start out.
Yeah,
it's a good time for him.
The kid's special in that he's got the right work ethic. He has the respect of the team, and oh, by the way, he's 6'7" and throws straight downhill, which is it's very tough to hit. It's tough to put good swings on that. So it's very nice to have him in the back end of our bullpen, and once again, that's just something that we've struggled with in years past. So it is so awesome to see our program get better in that specific point.
What was your thought on Lazaro's first start?
I thought, what ended up being 1 earned run, I believe it was 1 earned. I mean, anytime your freshman goes out there and goes 5 innings, 1 earned, and didn't really have his best stuff, I think that's pretty good. I think that he got his feet wet a little bit. We got to learn. He's got a lot to learn. He's learning to control the running game and not get rattled, learning to tighten up his belt so he doesn't have to fix his jersey every pitch. a lot to learn, but anytime you're on a freshman out there, it's a ton of pressure, and I thought he handled it well, and looking to see him move forward.
Yeah, Jake obviously 4-for-4 today, but he's going the opposite way. He's going good, and then he pulls the home.
Well, yeah, he's just tough because he can be very aggressive like he's done the last 3 years, and then he's been a little more patient here lately. So when he can use all fields, how do you pitch him? Where do you pitch him? And then they hang a breaking ball. He puts it over the fence in a huge situation. That's just a guy that's gotten older and has learned what works for him and is really performing.
How about this 5-game stretch you've got coming up now? Clemson, 3 at NC State, and then at South Carolina.
Is that true? I didn't even know that. All we're worried about is Clemson on Tuesday, and we got to find some arms to give us 9 innings and go down there and come back with a W.
All right, Brett. Thank you, man.
Thank you, guys.
There you go. That is Brett Harker following the win on yesterday, and obviously smiles all around after that. Tyler Kimbrell had a big weekend out of the bullpen, and if that is indicative of the kind of season that he's going to have, that speaks very, very well for the Paladins. Pitched 4 innings total, no runs. Did get a little help in that top of the 10th inning when they had him at first and third with nobody out. And the big play that Brett was referring to, there was a bunt to the first base side of the mound. Kimbrell fell down, but Brandon Elmy, the first baseman, came sweeping in, picked it up, threw to the plate, and Taplett was able to get the tag on the runner coming down the line from third. He tried to avoid the tag and slip in the backside of the plate, and there was a big argument by Chris Taz, the Marist head coach, but the home plate umpire, Tony Shanks, was adamant that the runner never touched the plate, period, and that allowed a little bit of breathing room. Still had first and second with 1 out, but Kimbrell was able to get out of it, including getting a strikeout for the final out of the inning, and that set the stage for the home run by Costa in the bottom of the 10th inning. Got our first look at freshman Matt Lazaro. Gave up 4 runs, only 1 earned. Did go through one little stretch where he struggled with his command, and then after an error that should have gotten him out of an inning, allowed an unearned run to score. He then gave up a base hit and a 2-run home run that followed that. So, all lessons that he's going to learn about not letting things like that rattle him. But I think the initial impact or the initial thought on what everybody saw, there's a lot to like about that young man. He's got good stuff. He's get more experience, probably get the jitters out a little bit, and he is. Brett Harker in the pregame show called him the future face of the program. Now that's pretty strong words and pretty high praise for a freshman who at that point had not thrown a single pitch in a Division I college baseball game. So, obviously we got a long way to go before we see if that comes true, but that's how they feel about this kid. It was a good weekend all around. Paladins got the victory, and now, as mentioned, it is off to Clemson tomorrow for a 4 o'clock game, and we will see who gets the midweek start. Probably Hunter Baker will get the call for the Paladins, but have not been told that officially as of yet. That'll be a 4 o'clock start, as I said, from Doug Kingsmore Stadium, broadcast at 3:45 on our flagship station, 1440, Fox Sports 1440 in Greenville will join us for that one, as well as Campus FM 95.9 and FurmanPaladins.com via Stretch Audio. That will take us right up to the start of the basketball game. And we'll be switching on the fly from baseball to basketball. Tom Van Hoy and Bryant Lambert are going to have the ESPN3 call of Furman and VMI here at Timmons Arena tomorrow. That will also, of course, be simulcast on Fox Sports 1440, and that will begin immediately following the baseball game. So we have a baseball-basketball doubleheader. Fun time of year, a lot of stuff going on, and we're looking forward to being right in the middle of it, as always. As we get set to go to break, a word about Ridge Media, LLC, based right here in Greenville. You need to give Kenny and his folks a call. They do logo, print, and website design, as well as search engine optimization and marketing. Their clients range from startups to Fortune 500 companies, and they're locally owned. They have offices in Greenville and down in Charleston. So you want a free consultation to find out what they can do. Won't cost you a dime. Give them a call at 864-354-6175, 354-6175 for Ridge Media, LLC. All right, to break. And upon our return, we'll turn our attention to basketball, talk about the win over Sanford, and you will hear from head coach Bob Ritchie. All that coming up next as the Dan Scott Show returns in just a moment.
If 4 spinning objects can grip thin air, then 4 spinning objects can grip solid earth. The Maserati Ghibli, with available Q4 intelligent all-wheel drive. The Maserati Ghibli. From $70,600. Experience Maserati now.
Since the 1950s, upstate residents from all over have come to Stack's Original. It's simple. Stack serves the best Southern-style down-home cooking in the area. Whether you're looking for a healthy breakfast, delicious lunch, or a relaxing dinner, Stack's has it all. Every Sunday after church, enjoy a great lunch with your family, including country-style steak, fried chicken, baked ham, and much, much more, plus a huge selection of side vegetables. It's easy to see why Stack's is the Greenville tradition. Call about our catering services for your next event. Stack's Original, 1704 Poinsett Highway, Greenville.
Let me tell you something, Cowboy. This rookie can really bring the heat.
He's smoky and spicy with a Chipotle style all his own.
It's a new Montgomery Inn Chipotle barbecue sauce. Make it a part of your home team.
Available now at your neighborhood grocer or online at CincyFavorites.com.
The madness begins here. Make sure you're at the U.S. Cellular Center in Asheville, North Carolina, March 1st through 5th for the 2018 SoCon Basketball Championships presented by General Shale. Watch your favorite SoCon teams compete for a championship and a berth in the NCAA tournament, and take part in exciting events like the Downtown Dribble and the Ingles Jam Fest. Book your travel and tickets by logging on to SoConHoops.com or by contacting the U.S. Cellular Center box office. The madness begins in Asheville. Get your tickets today.
It's 10:27, and we are back. Good to have you with us on this Monday edition of the program. Kind of a rainy, overcast, blah type of day outside, but we're doing what we can to kind of give you a little bit of a lift here today. So just kind of hang in there. It'll get better if it hasn't already. I'll tell you one thing to make it better is go to dinner tonight at Hall's Chop House in downtown Greenville. They are the Greenville Steakhouse. They say that for a reason, because they have Allen Brothers Prime Steaks that are just dominating that menu. Told you a couple of weeks ago, Angela and I went. I had the ribeye. She had the prime rib, and we had enough for a full dinner to take home with us. The steaks are huge. The family-sized servings are as well. The thing that sets them apart, besides the great food, is the meticulous attention to detail when it comes to every fabric of customer service. Billy and his folks make you feel like you're the most important person in a restaurant that could be seating 200 people at the same time or 300 people at the same time. They have a knack of doing that, and that's why they're successful. It's why they were successful and continue to be with the original location in Charleston, and that's why after almost 2 years here in Greenville, it continues to be a successful place as well and getting better all the time. That's Hall's Chop House, downtown Greenville on Main Street. Check them out. Tell them that you heard about them here on the show. Well, the Furman basketball team, as mentioned, got a big win over Sanford, 94-79. That's 3 in a row for Bob Ritchie's club. And with Wofford's win, they remain tied with the Terriers for third place in the league. UNCG lost to Mercer, so they are now, again, 2 games behind East Tennessee State with 3 to go in the regular season. ETSU is 14-1. UNCG is 12-3. They have pretty much locked up the 1 and 2 spots. But the intrigue comes at 4 through 6, or 3 through 6, excuse me, because Furman and Wofford are tied for third right now. And what happens, of course, is if you remain tied, you then look at how they performed against the teams that are ahead of them in the league, and that does not bode well for Furman. The Paladins are 0-3 right now against UNCG and ETSU with only a game against the Bucks to go at their place, the final game of the regular season coming up this Sunday. So you have to hope that you continue to play well and get a little bit of help from somebody. Hey, there's no reason that they can't go in there and beat ETSU, but you want to get some separation and get that third seed. The battle for the number 5 seed is between Mercer and Western Carolina, and right now it's Mercer at 8-7 in the league. Western Carolina is 7-8. What does that mean? Well, the 3 seed plays the 6 seed on that Friday, and 4 and 5 play. So, in other words, if things broke as they are now and Furman won the 3 seed, the Paladins would play Western Carolina. If they were the 4 seed, they would play Mercer. So that's what's kind of at stake. The bottom 4 teams are set: Sanford, the Citadel, VMI, and Chattanooga. It's just a matter of who is going to finish where. 7 and 10 will play, 8 and 9 will play, and the 2 winners of those games will play ETSU and UNCG on Friday. So you got the playing round on Thursday, and then Friday is the big day. You've got 4 games on Friday afternoon. The semifinals back up. The play-in day is Friday. You have 4 games on Saturday afternoon, the semifinals on Sunday, and the championship game on Monday night. So just keep that in mind. That is a look at the standings, and the Paladins now 10-5 in the league, 19-9 overall after their win over Sanford, 94-79 on Saturday afternoon. After the game, Bob Ritchie came to join us at the table for the postgame radio show. Tom Van Hoy and I with the interview, and here's what Bob had to say. At the Pete Hanna Center, Bob Ritchie comes sprinting out of the tunnel, eager to do the postgame radio show.
Man.
Congratulations, man.
Almost forgot. I'm back there in the coach's locker room going over the stat sheet and all fired up about 24 assists and 52 points in the paint. And then I realized, man, I got to go do radio. So
yeah. Well, we hated to break the momentum you had going, but we appreciate you coming out here.
It's great. It's great.
I would say, in a lot of ways, this is the perfect win for a head coach because you got so many things that went well today, and you can congratulate the team on the win, and yet you can say, okay, but they shot this percentage from the field, so we got some things to correct as well.
Yeah, I'm telling you, 1 through, I'm sure, Adams is a walk on the scholarship that plays really, really hard, and I'm sure, he's I shouldn't say deficient from a Wyatt Walker, but that's the one position where I'm sure they would like to have a little bit more production there. But I'm telling you, 1 through 4, they're as good as anybody in our league. All right, Coleman is a nightmare. Coleman is an absolute nightmare. Tristan, shoots 44% from 3. Denzel Dyson is a phenomenal shooter. UMass transfer. You got Tom. They got high major players that transferred in here all over the floor. So this idea that Sanford's just not, that they don't have talent, that's not true. And they put you, when you're preparing for them, they put you in so many ball screens, and they do it in so many different ways that it does. It stresses your ball screen defense out, and you have to continually figure out adjustments in the flow of the game to try to find ways to knock them off rhythm. But look, they score the ball. They really do. They had 116 versus Citadel on Saturday, and they score it. But fortunately, I thought we were pretty efficient on offense tonight. I thought we were persistent to the paint, which was a huge part of the game plan, and finished with 52 points in the paint. I would imagine that's a season high. But, man, at halftime we were shooting 80% from 2s, and I thought we could have continued to take more advantage of that in the second half. But, credit our guys in an environment, on the road. I thought we did what we needed to do to get, a 15-point victory.
What were they doing that allowed you to capitalize on the backdoor cut? And we scored so many layups off of that today.
It's stuff we've been working on. People have they've really just tried to deny and face guard Devin. And so we've just been trying to take advantage of that. And, as people try to face guard them, they're usually high up the line. And so I guess it's been since the Western Carolina game that we've put in some more back doors. And we've just been kind of infusing them into the game. And, they made that run in the first half, and we called the back door for Devin. They got the dunk on, and those are backbreakers. When you give up a back door, it's just kind of it takes your spirit a little bit.
And they chose early on the first couple of possessions to double Matt Raftery. Well, you know what? He's going to pass the ball out, and it's not going to stick. And you got good looks that knocked him down early.
Yeah, we did. We were curious to see how far they would double him out, and they've been doubling the post a lot, and so we knew they would double his direct post touches. We didn't know. We work a lot in the short corner to open up the paint for cutters, and we were curious if they were going to double that, and if they did, we were just going to try to cut the heck out of the paint against the rotation. And sure enough, they tried to. They tried to, and we passed out. And Devin got a layup. I think AB had a layup. Clay had a nice cut. I thought our cutting was really good tonight.
You mentioned 24 assists on 40 baskets, so you shared the ball very well again. The interior passing was fantastic. 52 points in the paint. There was a lot to like stylistically what you did offensively tonight.
Yeah, I thought it was fun. I thought it was fun to watch. I didn't like some of the shots we took in the last 10 minutes. I just felt they started switching everything. They started switching with the 5 and everything. So a lot of times when they do that, they slough off with the post player on the guard a little bit, and it can bait you into some dribble pull-ups. And where I think if we'd have continued to be persistent with the bounce, we could have got some cuts. We could have got some fouls. We didn't get fouled enough tonight. And but they tried to do some different things. And but for the most part, I thought offensively tonight we were really efficient.
I'll tell you, and your team came ready to play. I mean, can you tell when your team's ready to go? Because it was a business trip, focus. It was senior day. You talked with Dan on the pregame about all that. But I thought your guys, they came out and got after it early.
Yeah, I mean, it's as a coach, you don't always know. I think a coach is lying if they tell you they do. You got to go off of what practice looks like. But in a situation, this was a unique deal. I mean, we had a Thursday night home game, and then we had to get on the bus for a 5-hour trip, and now we're heading back to Greenville. It's a little bit unique. So we weren't able to do a whole lot yesterday. They had to really focus in from a cognitive standpoint, and we had to do most of our work in the film room and on the floor in a walkthrough situation. And walkthroughs, personality-wise, I'm not a big walkthrough guy. They scare me a little bit. But you can always still see if they're focused. You can always see if they're focused, or, you've been in those walkthroughs when it's like, hey, let's just get through this. Let's get on the bus and let's get our food and get moving. But I thought they were pretty dialed in our walkthrough yesterday.
You talked about the problems that Coleman can present, and their guard Sharkey is as quick as anybody in this league. But does Coleman remind you of anybody, whether it's at this level or another level?
He's got a little Steven in him, to be honest with you. I mean, it's just dealing with his speed and his shiftiness is tough. And, when you commit a big to him, usually we're aggressive in our hedging. In the game in Greenville, we just couldn't hedge him. And you can say, well, you defended him better in Greenville because they scored 79 and they only scored, 68 in Greenville. But that's not totally true because they shot it better today from 3. They didn't shoot it as well in Greenville. And you just got to – if you get too extended on him and he beats both, then now they got a 4-on-3. And he's really good at finding those reads. And that's what Steven used to give a lot of people problems. He could split ball screens. He could turn the edge on the big, and he could just be in the paint instantly. And so we tried to what we call a mirror. We tried to mirror with our big today and just try to mirror the handler to let the guard get back in front and commit 2, but be a little bit lower to where we absorb some of his penetration. Today where he hurt us was not in the half court. He hurt us in transition. Mm-hmm. And we did a poor job getting back and talking and really trying to build our walls early. And first half, I thought our transition defense was pretty good. Second half, it suffered. And but it got better in the last 6-7 minutes, which helped us, push the lead out further and get out of here with a win.
Yeah, you led the entire game, and when Sanford was able to get it under double digits at 9, scored 6 consecutive in the first half to kind of retake the momentum. But the second half, within 9 after a 12-4 run, came right back and got a 14-5 run to retake the lead. Alex Hunter makes 1 basket. But it was a huge one for you when you had a 9-point ball game.
He was right in front of me, and he's – I tell you what, Alex has guts. I mean, he really has – he is a tough human being. And for a freshman to exhibit his toughness is really commendable. And, we didn't know if he was going to play today. That hit he took in the Chattanooga game the other night was a little bit more serious than we thought. And our training staff did a phenomenal job with him. I thought he was going to be a no-go until about 30 minutes before the game. And he came in after warm-ups. He said, I want to try it. And, for him to come in there with all that and then to bang that 3 in that moment, that is a fearless human being.
Let me ask you about the shot at the end of the first half that Jordan Lyons hit, because I'm over here going, okay, play for one, we play for one. And lo and behold, he's got a great look, and he knocked it down. Is that just part of the culture, the demeanor? Was that called? Or
no, that wasn't called. They did a good job. They went to their scramble D there, so they didn't. A lot of teams are starting to do that. It's a little bit of an NBA deal. Don't let people hold for a shot, and so they send a second defender, and then they make you pass, and they keep sending the second defender, and they keep a rim protector back there to take away layups. And so they weren't going to let us just hold out for one. And I saw him lifting after the ball screen, and though he hits those shots. Now he missed a couple in the second half, but when I saw it, I thought, you know what? There's 7 seconds on here. What's the difference, right? So I was okay with it. He was wide open, right? What ensures if he doesn't shoot that and he drives it that you're going to get a better look than that? And so we hadn't used our use it or lose it. So I saw him shoot. I said, we're going to call a timeout if he hits it. And then we got in our 3-quarter court press just so they couldn't blow one up the court. And I thought we did a great job making them take a bad shot right before halftime.
As we have talked about, that young man has never met a shot that he doesn't like, and he nailed a good one there, and it was a good pass from Mounts. It was from the interior back outside, and as you said, he was wide open. All right, let you go after this, just kind of moving ahead. It was senior day here for them. We spoiled theirs. Trick now is not to have ours spoiled by VMI on Tuesday night.
Yeah, I just encourage all our fans, and even people in the community, let's come out and give these guys the recognition they deserve. And I think in the last 3 years right now, we're at, 61 wins. I haven't talked to our SID about when that happened last, but I know it was forever ago. Mm-hmm. And these 4 guys have had a huge piece in that. And I just think that we need to make sure that we do everything that we can, whatever you got going on, get people out there, and you get out there, and let's make sure we have a rocked house on Tuesday night to show these 4 seniors that we appreciate what they've done for this program.
And VMI won at the Citadel.
Yeah, they
today.
beat the Citadel today, so they'll come in with a little momentum. Bob, thank you, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, that was Bob Ritchie following the 94-79 win on Saturday down in Birmingham, and the Paladins have now again won 3 in a row, maintaining that tie for third place with Wofford at 10-5 in the league, 19-9 overall. 61 wins now for this team in the last 3 seasons, which is approaching, we believe, a school record. Jordan Caskey will have to confirm the number, but I believe that I'm being told anyway that it's 65, but we'll have to see what Jordan has to say in confirmation of that. But still, it's a stretch of good basketball that Furman has very rarely seen in the history of the program when it comes to rolling up that many wins in a 3-year period. One more victory will obviously give this team back-to-back 20-win seasons. They had 19 in the first year of this 3-year run, 23 last year, which tied the all-time school record for wins. So you've got an opportunity to play well down the stretch here and have a little postseason success to even surpass that here in Bob Ritchie's first year. So a lot to look forward to. The most important thing is play your best basketball in Asheville, because as we all know, it's a one-bid league and only the conference champion is going on to the NCAA tournament. We're very much looking forward to getting up there. That'll be next week, but one more week of regular season play to go. Home finale tomorrow night, as Bob referenced there, against VMI. It'll be senior day, and what a night for those 4 seniors. You talk about a group that has laid the foundation for this program, that has seen the program through the turnaround. Remember when they were freshmen, they won 9 games, I believe, in the regular season, and then get to the tournament, win 3 straight, and push Wofford to the very, very last shot of the game before the Terriers beat them to go on to the NCAA tournament in that championship game on Monday night. Furman had a 3-pointer to tie it at the buzzer, if you remember, came up short. And it's a game they played mostly without Chris Acox, who broke a foot early in that ball game. And the Wofford people will tell you, if Acox plays, there's very likely a different outcome in that game. That's when they were freshmen. They won 19 the next year, 23 last year, and now sitting at 19 wins with 3 to go in the regular season, and then the conference tournament still to come. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. The other side of that, there's one trend they're hoping to reverse. Since advancing to the championship game as freshmen, they have gone backwards every year. They made it to the semifinals year before last, and last season were eliminated in the quarterfinals in the first game they played. So that's one trend they'd like to reverse, and they'll have the opportunity to do that coming up next week. But VMI on Tuesday, tomorrow night, here, the home finale, senior night, and then Friday at Western Carolina up in Colowee, Sunday afternoon at ETSU in Johnson City. It is going to be fun. All right, to break we go, and we'll come back and get into some other things that took place over the weekend as the Dan Scott Show continues in just a moment. The Atlanta Bread Company wants to make your dining experience as convenient as possible, especially if you're ordering takeout. Go online to atlantabreadcompany.com, place your order there, and pay for it too. Then, when you get to the restaurant at Cherrydale Point, you breeze right by the cash registers and go straight to the pickup counter where your food will be waiting. And speaking of food, try the new Shrimp Po' Boy, a delicious and surprisingly healthy addition to the already great menu. That's the Atlanta Bread Company, Cherrydale Point in Greenville.
Holding, number 79, defense, first down. I'm also holding a party tonight.
Great call by the official. Looks like we've got another flag on the field.
Holding. A Pepsi. Necessary refreshment.
Hey, Ted, bring some of that Pepsi to my party.
Pepsi and the NFL. Welcome to the Fun Doesn't End Zone.
Let me tell you something, Cowboy. This rookie can really bring the heat.
He's smoky and spicy with a Chipotle style all his own.
It's a new Montgomery Inn Chipotle barbecue sauce. Make it a part of your home team.
Available now at your neighborhood grocer or online at CincyFavorites.com.
The madness begins here. Make sure you're at the U.S. Cellular Center in Asheville, North Carolina, March 1st through 5th for the 2018 SoCon Basketball Championships presented by General Shale. Watch your favorite SoCon teams compete for a championship and a berth in the NCAA tournament, and take part in exciting events like the Downtown Dribble and the Ingles Jam Fest. Book your travel and tickets by logging on to SoConHoops.com or by contacting the U.S. Cellular Center box office. The madness begins in Asheville. Get your tickets today.
All right, we are back. Good to have you with us as we continue here on this.
Thousands of on-demand options. Click to learn more.
Monday. Yeah, that's right. It is Monday edition of the Dan Scott Show. New sponsor that we've been telling you about for the last couple of weeks is Security Complete. Local ownership and installation and service. No subcontractors. You will know the people who come to your home to install the security system. And they have a combined 40 years of industry experience. No contracts. They're not going to get you the equipment and then say, you got to sign a 2-year contract with us. That's not how it works. You own the equipment once you purchase it, and then you go month to month as long as you want to go. They have the latest technology, which equals low overhead, which equals more savings for you, the customer. And of course, they cover intrusion, fire, video, and carbon monoxide. Their monitoring rates are significantly cheaper than the competition, and you get full automation. That's what I love. I can control my system from my phone, and depending on the level of system that you buy, I mean, you get remote arm and disarm, and then you have smart lighting, door lock control, garage door control, thermostat control, app services, notifications. They've got it all. Security Complete is your source for complete security for your home and business. Find them on Facebook at Security Complete, or give them a call at 864-546-0360, 864-546-0630. All right, now, I was just perusing some information about Major League Baseball, and did you see the contract that Eric Hosmer signed with the San Diego Padres yesterday? There's been a lot of hand-wringing from players and the Players Union about the lack of the free agent pieces falling into place during this offseason. And Hosmer is one of the most sought-after free agents out there, and the Padres have been pursuing him pretty much the entire offseason. Well, they finally landed him, and they did so with an 8-year contract worth $144 million guaranteed. He can opt out of that contract.
Today's students need balance in work, life, and school. To give you the type of learning experience you need, DeVry University offers a flexible approach. so
But
you
there
can
is an
learn
option
where
where
and when
Hosmer,
you
who will
want.
play the
The
entire
less
season
roadblocks, the
at age
clearer the path
28,
to success.
By the time he gets to be age 33,
Get started at
if their skills have
DeVry.edu.
declined, there's an opt-out that can get them out of that contract. So the or if he's still playing well and wants to test the free agent market again, it's an opt-out for him after 5 years. So he is one big free agent off the board. Now it'll be intriguing to see the others that are still out there, and there are several. It's interesting that the Padres, who have been in rebuilding mode, would commit $144 million to one player, and this is going to be a big loss for Kansas City. It's one they expected to lose. But again, don't forget, this is essentially a 5-year contract that includes the opt-out after the 5th season, giving Hosmer that escape clause if the rebuild doesn't go as planned. Here's his salary, though. 2018, 19, 20, 21, and 22, those first 5 years, $20 million a season. This year, 2018, he gets a $4 million signing bonus, and in 22, he has the opt-out after the season. If he chooses to stay, the final 3 years of the contract, his deal drops to a mere $13 million a year. So it's, as the story I'm reading says, that it's a 5-year contract worth $104 million with a $39 million insurance policy from Hosmer's standpoint. And remember that Yu Darvish just signed a 6-year, $126 million deal with the Cubs. So that's another big name free agent that came off the books and has a home now. So still a number of them out there, and of course this is beginning to, if you've been paying attention, it's beginning to cause a lot of conversation between the players union and agents and ownership that leads one to believe that this extraordinary time of labor peace that we've had since baseball resumed in 1995 may be in trouble. This last deal and this year coming up is the second year of a 5-year deal, so 4 more years on the current collective bargaining agreement. This one, there was a little sniping back and forth, if you remember, and the signing and the ratification of it really came right at the midnight hour before there was a possible work stoppage looming. So with that as the backdrop, now you've got this scenario where the players union is not happy that you've got all these free agents that are sitting there still looking for homes, and you've got teams with different general managers, younger general managers who are going more with analytics as a base for what they do. And what you're seeing is they have high-profile stars and a lot of inexpensive younger players, and those guys in the middle are kind of left out just a little bit, or at least that's the concern of the players union. And some of the rhetoric that I've heard really worries me, that if they don't come to some kind of understanding as this goes on, and you got 4 years, so there's plenty of time, but the rhetoric that I'm hearing worries me that by the time this contract is up, if there's not an understanding from both sides that something needs to be done as a joint process to make this work for everybody, then we could see a work stoppage for the first time since 1994, and that would be a disaster, because Major League Baseball has prospered over the last, 8 or 10 years, and continues to prosper, especially when the NFL has gone through its issues, the NBA has gone through its issues. Major League Baseball is kind of in the role now of the sport that people are looking at as the model of cooperation between the two sides. And obviously it wasn't always that way, but it's been that way. But the rhetoric that I'm hearing now kind of leads me to believe that we may be in trouble 4 years down the road if they can't get together and say, okay, how can we find a solution that works for everybody? Because these new general managers, the ones who are relying a lot on analytics, that's what they do. And for better or worse, that's how they're going to go about putting together their ball club. And they're going to spend the money the way they see fit. What the agents are floating around and what the players union is concerned about is the possibility of collusion, which we all remember, I think, back to 1987, what came out of that when the major league owners, in fact, did get together and say, we're not signing any free agents. They did it behind closed doors, thus the collusion, direct violation of the collective bargaining agreement, and ended up costing them millions and millions and millions of dollars in fines, and also led to a pair of expansion franchises in Florida and Colorado. So the idea that word is floated around again, may be a little reckless on the part of the players union. The agents are going to make any kind of noise they can make because it's their clients and their paydays that are on the line as well. But the bottom line is that regardless of what's going on or what's not going on, there is a chasm that's developing between the two sides. And the good news is they've got 4 years to kind of get it figured out heading into the next collective bargaining agreement. But they better come together in good faith and work on that solution, because baseball certainly cannot afford another work stoppage 4 years down the road. All right, I didn't even mean to head in that direction, but I did, and so be it. That brings us to the end of the show. Tomorrow we'll be live here in studio and then heading over to Doug Kingsmore Stadium for baseball. 4 o'clock first pitch, 3:45 is the airtime on Fox Sports 1440, as well as FurmanPaladins.com and our Campus FM for Furman and Clemson. And then immediately following the end of that game, it will be basketball as the Paladins take on VMI in the home finale and senior night here at Timmons Arena. We're looking forward to that, and looking forward to seeing how this next stretch plays out for Bob Ritchie's club with the regular season's final 3 games this week. All right, coming up on the Campus FM and on our TuneIn Radio channel, which is WPLS-LP. You can get it on the app or you can get it online, and there are 2 of them. Remember, we're the one with the Furman Network logo. Relive the 2 baseball wins that I broadcast and the basketball win that Tom and I did right now, and we'll go in reverse order. We'll go with yesterday's baseball game first, followed by the basketball win over Sanford, and then the season opener on Friday in the win over Marist for Brett Harker's club. All of those will be coming at you right now on the Campus FM and on TuneIn Radio. Until tomorrow, you folks have a great day, and we'll see you back here in studio. God bless you, and so long, everybody.